Okay, you guys should be able to see me. Can you hear me? You can hear me. I'm adjusting my microphone levels here. All right, that should be good there. Should be audible. Should be able to hear me. Does appear that I am live. Hello, everyone. This is Andre's Restart, in case that's not obvious. We are going to be talking about that Nintendo Direct Museum that we're not only are we going to talk about it, we're going to watch the Direct that will be telling us about it in about 27 and a half minutes. So that is the plan. It's going to be a relatively short stream. We're going to have a little bit of a pre-discussion now. Then we're going to watch this 10-minute show. And then we'll talk about for 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'm going to end the stream because I have to go to the gym. But yeah, so we'll be doing this. This is not the live stream for the week. This is just the podcast or whatever we're going to do. Probably will be tomorrow night. I'm also been kind of thinking about doing a few more live streams, like maybe we could do a live stream of the MEO demo, see if it can terrify me, see if there's any jump scares there. Maybe we'll do one for Bakeru. So I've been thinking maybe I could do like a few more live streams where I try out certain games, the beginning of it, see how it goes, and kind of go from there. But if you guys can let me know how everything is looking and sounding, I do have some background music. Let me know if it's like just right or if it's too loud or anything like that. Tardigrade, thank you. Haven't watched in a while. Glad you're here. Steve West, random question, Andres. You interested in going to the Miami Heat home opener? Am I interested? Yeah, of course. Of course I'm interested. I'm a Miami Heat fan, right? So I would. I don't go to too many games, but I do go occasionally. So the opener would be kind of crazy. Who are we playing for the opener? Miami Heat. 2024. I haven't looked at the schedule. I heard that the preseason schedule came out already. I'm assuming the full schedule is out. Who are we playing to start? The preseason's the Hornets. Okay. What about after preseason? Is the regular season against the Orlando Magic on October 23rd? Am I reading that right? Looks like it. So there's only 4 preseason games. Interesting. They shortened the preseason. I didn't realize that. That'd be a good game. Yeah, so I'm thinking about it. You got me thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it until now. So, yeah, I would be interested. Jaden, you're saying everything sounds good. Granddaddy, thank you. JCK, Connor, thank you all for letting me know everything sounds good. Awesome. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. So you're gonna watch the opener as well, Steve? Okay. Well, if I am gonna be at the opener, I will make it known. Granddaddy Otaku. So what's this direct about? I've been out of the loop the past few weeks. So there's kind of a lot going on depending on how you look at it. Today, we are just going to watch a 10-minute Nintendo Direct about the Nintendo Museum. It's going to be opening later this year in Kyoto, and they're going to give us some kind of tour of the museum. That's pretty much it. It's opening this fall, and they're going to start to detail this museum. And for me, that's a big deal. I appreciate that. Because I like museums. I'm a fan of Nintendo history. This to me is going to be cool. But there's been a lot of conversation going on about the Direct stuff, right? There was a rumor coming from Brazil that multiple presentations, I don't know what number, right? The word presentations was used with an S, plural, so more than one, have been moved up to the next few weeks, and this appears to be the first one, this museum. What's after this, we're not sure. But the other part of the rumor is that these things would be moved up because Nintendo may want to start talking about Switch 2 really soon. And so now this rumor has gained some fuel, because, well, there's this one surprise announcement already for one Direct. So there's that. But then also over this weekend, we learned that it appears that this, by the end of this quarter, there should be mass manufacturing for new models for different gaming consoles, including a new model of the Switch. That it's kind of interesting wording because it's in Chinese, but we believe this is the Switch 2. Like, what new model will Nintendo be working on? Those, like, special editions aren't new models. Like, it's some sort of new Switch system. I think it's just a Switch 2. The successor consoles have been referred to as just the name model before, so I think that's what it is. And the timings is very close, so it's definitely getting a lot of us very excited. So that's pretty much kind of like a rough summary of what's been going on lately. Matthew, apparently there's a Nintendo Direct in September according to rumors. Is that correct? I'm not sure what rumors you're referring to. Every year there is a September Direct normally. There are rumors that directs are happening or presentations are happening, right? Sooner, like this August. There's a rumor that an Indie World will be in September. In terms of the typical September Direct, though, rumored for September, I haven't seen specifically that. But there is some wiggle room here because, like, when do these presentations come? Could they just be at the very beginning of September or sometime in August? Obviously, we're getting this Museum Direct now. It's still August 19th. There's room for more. There could be another Direct between now and September. So I don't know if it's specifically September, but there's also a lot of conversation, as I was just saying, that maybe we get a Switch 2 reveal really soon. Will that come in the form of a Direct or just a trailer? I don't know, but we are kind of thinking that maybe September is the time. Of course, we could wait a little bit later. That remains to be seen. But those are kind of like the conversations that are going on right now. If there's this new like rumor for specifically September, I haven't seen that outside of the Indie Showcase. But of course, there's a long history. We're kind of thinking that maybe things are happening a little bit out of the ordinary right now. Tony the Expert here says, the fact Brazil was able to put his rep on the line for a short notice announcement makes me hopeful, right? His credibility seems pretty strong right now. Hello there, Wilberforce. JCK with a cool question. Random question. What's your opinion on the Rex design in Xenoblade 3 DLC? I love it. Ultra Giga Chad Rex, I'm all for it. I think he had quite the glow up. It's cool, you know, like Rex in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. He's a kid, you know, so he just looks like a little kid. But he's you know, in the DLC and Future Redeemed, he's a beast. So I love it. It does make me wonder, you know, how they might handle Rex and Pyra and Mythra in future Smash installments, if they will even handle them, because Pyra and Mythra are my favorite characters in the Smash Brothers. I love that they were added in the final Fighters Pass. I was a little disappointed to not see Rex playable. He's kind of in the background like Pokemon Trainer. But with this new design for Rex, it's kind of like, well, he wields both swords. They could kind of remix Pyra and Mythra to be Rex. Now, I wouldn't want that, though. I kind of like Pyra and Mythra as they are. However, what if in the next Smash installment, they add some more alternate costumes, and one of them is just straight up Rex adult form, right? So, like, all the other skins are still as they are in Smash Ultimate. They don't change it. The gameplay is still the same. The mechanics are still the same. The only thing they change is the character model. Instead of Pyra or Mythra, it's just Giga Chad Rex. And when he presses down B to change modes, he just changes his sword from Pyra's sword to Mythra's sword. And he moves quicker or more heavier. And that's just it. And that way you could have Rex in both forms in Smash, in whatever they call the next Smash Brothers. I feel like that would be a cool thing. So I guess, you know, my thoughts on the Rex design in Xenoblade 3, I like it so much that I want them to do something about it with the next Smash installment. So, yeah, I think it's cool. I'm very happy about it. Looking here at the chat, Connor asks, are you ignoring my messages? No, just one message at a time. So I see here earlier you said, Yeah, add me. Hello, you said there could be a mini or a partner showcase direct instead of a general, but do you think they could finally show Triple Deluxe, Robobot, Tamagotchi Life, and Star Fox Assault? So I think if we get a Nintendo Direct Mini, not a partner showcase, so if they announce a Nintendo Direct Mini, I think that opens a door for a few more Nintendo announcements. I don't know which one specifically they would be. There are rumors for a Kirby game, and it does make sense for a Kirby game to come out in the beginning parts of next year. It kind of checks out timeline-wise when you check the cadence of release from HAL. So there could be something like that in a Direct Mini. I don't think that would be in a partner showcase. I guess technically it could be. I just wouldn't expect it. Because HAL isn't owned by Nintendo, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it's kind of like a second-party thing. So theoretically, it could be in a partner showcase. Let me double-check that. Let me fact-check that there. Does Nintendo own HAL? No. According to the AI overview on Google. So, I'll trust it for now. But that was my gut, that they don't own them. They just work well together. Kind of like Good Feel with Princess Peach Showtime, the Yoshi games. Good Feel can work for whoever they want to. They just work for Nintendo all the time because they have a great relationship. There may be, I mean, obviously Nintendo may own the Yoshi IP, the Peach IP, the Kirby IP, but these developers, there might be, I'm sure there's more specifics to look into with that, but theoretically, HAL is not a Nintendo studio. Well, literally, they're not a Nintendo studio owned, so they could be in a partner showcase. But I just don't think they would. It doesn't feel like a game they would put in there, based off how we've seen them handle prior partner showcases, at least. Let's see here. Scrolling through. Boom Mini has been a member for 2 straight months. Awesome. Glad you've been here all this time, buddy. And Anthony Nelson has been gifted a membership by by Boom Mini. Thank you, Boom Mini, and welcome, Anthony. I also see here that Free Metroid has been a member for 7 months as well. That is awesome. I'm happy you guys are sticking around. Thank you. Wade Duel. I would like to see Star Fox Assault remastered with online play. Same goes for F-Zero GX. I even enjoyed Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer mode, so here's to the Echoes remaster. We're on the same page. I would love to see those games. I do agree with you that both Star Fox Assault and F-Zero GX feel like games that could get like big boy remasters. You know, like they could be enhanced and with some subtle quality. Well, maybe it doesn't even have to be subtle, but with some quality of life changes, visual improvements, and an online mode, these games would feel really good in today's age. And I think they would do pretty well. Will they do them? I mean, F-Zero is rumored. We have seen those Bandai Namco remaster listings suggesting they're working on some kind of action remaster, which could be Star Fox Assault. So there's potential there. Also, Namco did work on the initial Star Fox Assault, so there's that to consider as well. Both feel like solid candidates to be remastered within the next few years. But maybe they don't happen on Switch. Maybe we have to wait until Switch 2. That remains to be seen. Prime 2 feels like the one that we're going to see most likely because it's been just kind of more talked about by more insiders. And we obviously have Prime 4 coming out next year. So there is literally a game from Nintendo of the Metroid Prime franchise that has a date on it. And it kind of puts a little bit of a timeline there for us, right? We kind of assume that Prime 2 and 3 come out before Prime 4. That's what the rumors have indicated as well. So that's why I kind of I focus on that one a little bit more. But also the conversation regarding Prime 2 and 3 is they wouldn't be getting as much work done as, say, Prime 1. We'll see what happens. But I'll just be happy to be able to play that game on my Switch. It approaches. Also, where is this so-called usual Pokemon Presents we get in August, right? It looks like we're not getting it this time. I mean, the month is not done yet. but most people seem to have given up on it because of how late we are into the month. Usually it happened a little bit earlier. We just got the Pokemon World Championships, still no mention or announcement of a Pokemon Presents. And I think, I kind of mentioned it in today's video. Basically, I think it's because they don't have a mainline release from Game Freak this year. So there's not really that much need to have another Pokemon Presents. Because that would have been if there was a mainline release coming out this holiday, they would have featured it in the Presents. But there wasn't. So I guess they probably thought that they just didn't have enough material to warrant a full-on Presents. So they just had some of their announcements at the end of, the last day of the World Championships yesterday. And that's pretty much it. It was like an update on Pokemon Unite, an update on Pokemon Go, and another trailer for Pokemon trading card game Pocket, which is coming out this year, but that's a mobile game, right? It's not a Switch game. And so imagine those announcements in conjunction with maybe a new trailer for Legends ZA. Like, that would have been good enough for Presents, right? But because Presents is coming out next, not Presents, but because Legends ZA is coming out next year, I guess we're not at a point where they feel like sharing a trailer yet. And so I guess there's no Presents. I think that's just where it is. Now, it does have me thinking, as I discussed today in today's video, that I wonder if maybe they're saving Legends ZA to be marketed a little bit more closely to Nintendo Switch 2. Obviously, Legends ZA is a Switch 1 game, but given that it's seemingly coming out even later into 2025, not the early parts of 2025, especially now that they haven't shown us a trailer yet, it does kind of make you wonder, okay, if this game's going to come out basically during the thick of the Switch 2 beginning, right, within that Switch 2 launch window, would they not take this opportunity to kind of market a huge console Pokemon game that's going to be fairly ambitious, it's had extra time put into it alongside this new console? I think they could offer up like a graphical performance patch, some sort of enhanced version on Switch 2. It's still a Switch 1 game, but they could still probably market that improvement, right? It running on the new console, it could be part of that. So, maybe that is tying into why we haven't seen it yet. Or not. They could just be taking their time, and they're going to tell us more about it early next year for the typical February Pokemon Presents, and we'll learn more about it then. That could be what's going on as well. Hello there, 56TY. Hello there, Rico Lee. I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Connor here asks, what exhibits could they show for Mario, Kirby, and other Nintendo IPs for the museum? I think it's a good question to ask. I haven't even really thought about it too much. I think that the Nintendo Museum will actually probably go beyond just Nintendo games, because there was a past beforehand, right? There was, like, what do they call them? Like the Hanafuda cards, like they had the playing cards. I wonder if they would mention the Love Hotel. Maybe not in the direct. Maybe you might find a subtle hint towards that if you actually go there physically. But there will be at least an element kind of going over the history of Nintendo before video games. But then they would talk about the systems, the Game & Watch, right? How they entered the industry with the NES, how they came into New York with the Donkey Kong arcade system, and how they had to change the, was it called like radar scope or something? They had these other arcade cabinets, and they had to adapt them to a new game to kind of give them more life in the West. And then Donkey Kong was largely successful, and Nintendo all of a sudden had a footprint in the United States, and that really led to their expansion. So I feel like things like that will be discussed. So Mario, Donkey Kong, really important. I would imagine that all of their IPs will be featured in some way, at least, for the first couple decades. And over time, I'm sure they'll continue to build on that. What would be really cool is if, like, we don't know how detailed these exhibits would be, right? We don't know how expansive this museum will be. We're probably going to get, like, a pretty good grasp on that during this direct, at least to an extent. Like, I think it'd be really cool if, like, they go so far as kind of explaining, like, the development philosophies and the origins of each of these games, and they have, like, interviews, like, maybe, like, they have, like, have you ever been to a museum, and, like, some museums might have, like, paintings or sculptures or what have you, but there will even be, like, kind of like a video on the wall right next to it. This sort of gives you a bit of an origin story for whatever that is, right? I think if they did that for some of these Nintendo IP in the museum, that would be spectacular. And what would be even more interesting is if Nintendo has some details that is not public information that we learn from this museum. They might have some info in their archives and their history that have not been publicized, or at least not been publicized well, and perhaps have been lost throughout history, that this museum may help to kind of catalog better. And so there could be some cool things we may learn from this. We'll see. Just some kind of like, surface level thoughts on what they may have in store with this museum. I'm trying to pull up the chat. There we go. Granddaddy Otaku added me earlier. Did you hear that Koei Tecmo rep said there will be definitely be another collab? If true, how likely are we to get a Hyrule Warriors 3 in your opinion? I didn't hear about this. But I will also say I believe Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is the best-selling Warriors game ever, right? So it makes sense for them to continue. On the flip side, though, I would prefer... I'm not saying that you never go back to Zelda Warriors. Hyrule Warriors can happen again. That's fine. But I would kind of prefer they tap into another IP first. They've done 2 Fire Emblem Warriors. They've done 2 Zelda Warrior games. Let's tap into another IP. The one I'm thinking of is Xenoblade. I think Xenoblade is ideal for the Warriors genre, and they could even mix it up a little bit because Xenoblade has a lot of sci-fi elements as well, a lot of futuristic space elements beyond just kind of like the fantasy medieval-esque kind of things. Xenoblade is kind of like a merger of those worlds, so it would be interesting to see a Warriors game based off Xenoblade. And if you look at what happens in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, how the worlds of 1 and 2 are merging. Like, they can very easily have a Warriors game of the Xenoblade 1 through 3 worlds, like, kind of fit or make some level of sense within the story. So I think it's definitely something that they will come back to. That, like, the Warrior collabs, they're not done. They've done many of them for a reason. Zelda makes sense. I just hope they do Xenoblade first. But eventually, yeah, I think there will be another Hyrule Warriors. I just don't know how long that'll be. So, we're a few minutes away. I want to do a little bit of a sound check here. So, let me do this real quick. I'm gonna pause this for a moment, if it'll let me. Okay. I want to do a sound check here. I want everyone to let me know how the audio levels sound for this trailer, because this is going to be how I'm going to have it sound for the actual, direct. Interestingly, why is this default to 360p? Okay. Oh, it's playing. Maybe you guys heard it already, but let me put it on screen. I think, is it this one? Yeah, okay. Hold on. Where's my chat? Okay, there we go. All right, let me know how this is looking and sounding. Can you guys hear? You should be able to hear the audio. It's in Japanese, but this is well, it's English subtitles because it's Emio. You heard the snap? How does this look? I'm actually really feeling this game now, right? Like, I actually kind of like how it's animated. I'm gonna play the demo later this week. We might live stream it. So, I'm feeling good about this. Having hope. Wilbur, before you say it sounds good, you want the game to be a little louder? Okay. Okay, I made it a little louder. Alright. So that's the test. Well, your volume was down, then I'll lower it just a little bit so it was where it was at. Okay, cool. So, you think it was a little loud, RNL? Alright, so I did dip it a little. Okay. All right, it's about there. Feel free to let me know during the show, but I think That's fine. We'll play this trailer. Just why not? We got a couple minutes, right? We got a couple minutes.
Welcome to Hyrule. A vast
It still sounds good.
where Princess Zelda will journey through her grand adventure. Hyrule is a land of plentiful abundance. From the central plateau, where Hyrule Castle stands enfolded by its castle town, to the outermost
Everything is good?
reaches,
Awesome.
you'll encounter
Okay.
new and interesting people in each of its diverse.
Then we are pretty much ready to go. Okay, I like turning that off, just so in case it doesn't lag on me. I don't like that. All right. So here we are. It is 5:57. I'm going to wait. We're not going to miss this. We're going to be ready. We'll be good to go. I see here, Free Metroid Hat provided a super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat, Free Metroid Hat. And Free Metroid Hat asks, what would you think if Nintendo has games and game ideas from their history that never came to be in the museum? That's a very good question. It's kind of like a tough one because by doing that, you're sort of you're teasing people, right? And I don't know how often Nintendo they themselves discusses their canceled projects or ideas that never materialized. You might hear some subtle things referenced in interviews, but I don't know if they're going to be like, hey, here's all our canceled games that we'll never make that you probably think are really cool. I don't know if they'll do that because it gets people asking questions and wanting something that's never going to happen. So I think the answer is no, but as I mentioned earlier, we may see some subtle hints or references to some projects like that in interviews. I think that's at least possible. So that would be nice. Make sure we're live. Okay. Alizi Aragoni. Hi, I really wanted to ask this. Do you think they will bring the previous Endless Ocean games to the Switch? The recent one was really disappointing. Is it likely to happen? My gut says no, Alizi. I would, obviously I want it to happen, right? But, like I just don't think it's extremely likely. I don't want to say never though, right? Like I'm sure Nintendo will give Endless Ocean another whirl at some point again. Maybe they'll remaster Endless Ocean 1 and 2 down the road, and maybe that still is for Switch, or maybe it kind of depends how far into, how much later it happens, right? If it's 2 years from now, maybe. If it's 4 years from now, probably not. But you look at things like MEO, The Smiling Man for Famicom Detective Club. There were 2 prior Famicom Detective games that were remade for Switch back in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And then they give us a new game. It feels like usually they go back
皆さん
first.
こんにちは、
here
宮
we are.
本です。
It's happening. We'll come back to this.
今回はオープンに向けて準備中の任天堂ミュージアムからお届けします。
Okay, grand openings.
私は今、ミュージアムの入り口のレセプションエリアにいます。建物の外観はこんな感じになっています。
Okay. They changed the flowers.
もともとこの場所にはトランプや花札を作ってきた任天堂の工場があって、
The original
ファミコンの
factory?
頃は製品チェックをしたり、私もよく通っていた懐かしい場所です。たくさんのトラックが出入りした広場はマリオの広場に生まれ変わりました。
That's cool.
そしてこの度、長年任天堂製品に関わってきたこの場所をミュージアムとして再生しました。今日は任天堂ミュージアムがどのようなところなのかを駆け足でご紹介したいと思います。それでは、中へどうぞ。
All right, here we go. I'm ready. Ooh. Look, Switch. There's a whole bunch of Nintendo controller stuff. The Game Boy, the NES controllers. Wow, there's a whole bunch of this huge
ここは2階
exhibit
の展
here.
示フロアです。2
Second
階は
floor.
任天堂が創業以来発売してきたさまざまな製品
Oh,
を
I
展示してい
need
ま
to
す。
go here.
ぐるーっと見渡すと、ビデオゲーム機を中心に過去から現在に至るまでのさまざまな製品が見渡せます。
Mostly focused on video game systems.
ここからは大きなコントローラーが目に入ります。
Color button theory.
皆さんの興味があるものを自由にご覧ください。
All of it.
それぞれのハードに分けた展示と合わせて我々の独創性とチャレンジをご覧になれます。ご存知の方も多いと思いますが、任天堂はビデオゲームを作るずっと以前から家庭の遊びを作ってきました。創業は今から135年前の1889年です。
Long time ago.
はじめは花札やカルタの製造が主な事業でした。それ以来任天堂はさまざまな遊びを生む玩具を作るようになり、
Various kinds of
それら
play.
がゲーム&ウォッチやファミコンへとつながってきました。ここではそのような昔の製品も振り返ってご覧いただけます。それではどんな展示になっているか少しだけ見てみましょう。
Oh, okay. Here we go.
こちらはファミコンの展示コーナーです。
Oh,
ご覧ください。
it's beautiful.
日本向けと海外向けでハードのデザインが大きく違いますね。当時はこんな風に日本と海外でデザインを変えて売っていたんです。
Same console, just different regions.
名前も違っていて、ファミコンは日本以外では任天堂エンターテインメントシステム、略して NES と呼ばれていました。そしてこちらはソフトです。
Donkey
日本
Kong.
向け、北米向け、ヨーロッパ向けでパッケージのデザインや大きさも違いますね。このように比べてみることでいろんなことを発見していただける展示になっています。ミュージアムには任天堂が発売したすべてのタイトルを展示していますから、
Games that Nintendo
皆さんが
published.
遊ばれたタイトルをつけてください。
Most
上の
of
モ
them.
ニターではそれぞれのゲーム画面も見られるようになっています。前に立つとそれぞれの音が聞こえるスピーカーになっていますよ。
Oh, that's cool.
では別の展示コーナーもいくつか覗いてみましょう。
What else you got? Surprise me.
このコーナーでは体を動かすモーションを使った遊びの進化を見ていただけます。
There's a bike. I don't know about that.
そしてここではハテナブロックのデザインがどのように進化してきたかを見
That
てい
is
ただくこと
interesting,
もでき
actually,
ます。
seeing the evolution of that. Wow.
このコーナーではそれぞれのハードのたびにス
Ooh.
ーパーマリオやゼルダの伝説などの
That's
画面の
awesome.
進化を一気にご覧になれます。
They're gonna have to have a Switch 2 section.
さてこちらのコーナーでは多くの皆さんが知らない任天堂がビデオゲームを作る前の時代の製品を展示しています。これはコピラスといってジアゾ式のコピー機です。こちらにはママベリ
Yeah,
カ、
I don't know about this
ベ
stuff.
ビ
This
ーカー
stuff
があ
is
ります
crazy.
ね。任天堂はトランプや花札に始まり、ボードゲームやラジコンカー、バッティングマシンなどいろいろなファミリー向けの玩具を作っていました。
I love all this stuff.
そ
This
し
is
て
so
この
cool.
光線銃が一つの転機とな
Oh,
り、
that's a light gun.
ゲームセンターなどのゲーム機を作り始めたんですね。これは任天堂が初めて作った家庭用のビデオゲーム機、テレビゲーム
Interesting.
6と15です。ちょうど私が入社した1977年に発売されました。一つ一つの製品を見るとユニークな製品作りを続けてきたことがわかります。このようにミュージアムの2階では任天堂の過去の製品をたくさん展示しています。そ
What's
し
the
て
first floor?
遊びがどのように進化しつながってきたかをお見せします。今日お見せしたのはごく一部ですから、
Small
ぜ
fraction.
ひ実際に見に来てください。
I'm coming.
では1階に移動しま
What's
しょう。
on the first
1階
floor?
は違ったエリアになっていますよ。はい、1階に降りてきました。ご覧の通り1階の中央は巨大なモニターになっています。こんな感じで皆さんもこのモニターの上に乗って百人一首を遊んでいただくことができます。スマートフォンと組み合わせて遊びますよ。このようにミュージアムの1階のフロアはインタラクティ
I
ブに体験が
love
できるエリア
that.
になってい
I'm
るん
really
で
happy
す。
they're doing this.
過去に任天堂が作ってきた製品を今の時代によみがえらせるとどんな遊びになるか、そんなテーマで8つの体験を作ってみました。ミュージアムに入るときに渡されるこの入館証にコインが入ってるんですが、体験にはそのコインを使いま
It's
す。
like an arcade.
今日は8つある体験の中から3つを紹介しましょう。さあ こちらは小さな部屋がいくつか並んでいますね。どんな体験ができるのでしょ
I don't know.
う。ここは1968年に発売されたウルトラマシンが体験できるんです。ウルトラマシンはピンポンの球のようなボールを自
I
動
hear
で投
I
げて
hear
くれ
the
る
the ranch,
部屋の中でプレイで
the
きるバ
horse
ッ
race
ティ
in,
ン
in
グマシン
Ocarina
で
of
した。
Time.
私が入社したのは改訂版のウルトラマシンデラックスが発売される年でした。少しだけ仕上げに関われました。その頃は社内にプレイルームというのがあって、昼休みにはアーケードゲーム
So
や
these are
ウル
like
トラマシ
mini
ンを遊んで
baseball
いました。
rooms.
こちらに並んだ部屋は当時の家庭を再
That
現してい
is
ま
so
す。
cool.
部屋に置かれているものが違うので、お好みの部屋を
Oh
選
my
んでくだ
god,
さ
I
い。
love this.
では早速体験してみましょ
Yeah,
う。床にウルトラマシンが置かれているのがわかりますか？
that is so
では
cool.
早速打ってみましょう。
I can't believe this.
あ、惜し
And
い。
they're not worried about the balls hitting the background. Oh, they're part of. Okay, that is so cool. That is so cool.
部屋の中にあるいろんなものにボールが当たるといろんなリアクションがあります。
You'd normally be scared to hit things, but in this case, you're being rewarded
で
for
は
it.
次に行ってみましょうか。こちらはザッパー&スコープ SP という遊びです。任天堂は1970年代にレーザークレイというボーリング場を改造した業務用のシューティング場を展開していました。このレーザークレイを今の技術で体験できるように作ってみたのがザッパー&スコープ SP です。最大13人まで一緒にプレイできるので、
Oh, let's
今日
go.
はミュージアム
Time
の
to
スタッ
win.
フの皆さんと一緒にプレイしたいと思います。光線銃は2種類ありますね。
Two.
片手で素早く撃てるザッパー、そして照準がついたスーパ
Oh,
ー
the
スコープ。
Super Scope is in Smash.
このどちらかを選べます。 NES の光線銃とスーパーファミコンのスーパースコープを復元してみました。今日は私はこちらの
Looks
ザッパ
kind
ー
of
を
like
使って
James
みます。
Bond. Oh, the ink, that's Splatoon themed. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be the best museum ever. It's a museum cave.
はい。マリオやピーチは撃ったらダメですよ。クッパ、のこのこ狙って撃ちましょう。
And they use the
さ
colored
あ、い
ink.
っぱい出てきました。
I love this.
どんどん撃って。
Let's go. We're going tomorrow.
ボム兵が飛んできてます。
I want to go to this museum.
よし。
Who won?
いや、どうでしょうね、結果は。
Oh,
よかった
wow.
ですよ。次へ行きましょ
You're not the only one that got
う。こ
gold.
ちらではファミコンから Wii に至るまでさまざまなゲームをプレイできます。
Famicom to Wii.
でもちょっと何か違いますよね。
Yeah, it's pretty different.
そうです。コントローラーが超巨
That
大で
is
す。
epic.
このコントローラーを2人で協力分担してゲームを遊んでみましょう。
Oh, that's so
では
awesome.
今日はファミコンのスーパーマリオブラザーズをミュージアムのスタッフさんと一緒にプレイしてみます。
You're gonna need like 4
よろしく。
people to do the N64 controller.
スタッフさん
At
が
least three.
A ボタンのジャンプ、私が十字ボタンで移動を担当します。2人で息を合わせてクリアしましょう。頑張りましょう。
That's right. Hold that B button to run. You see how her hand's just pressed on the B button the whole time? Most of the time, at least. This is amazing. It's another reason to go to Japan. Wow.
B ダッシュです。やりました。 2
Miyamoto
人で
also
声を
felt
掛
was
け合い
worth
ながら
mentioning.
分担して操作すると全く違った体験にな
Look how
り
you
ます
move the
ね。
Wii remotes. That's
ここで
amazing.
は他にもスーパーファミコン、任天堂64、Wii のゲームを巨大コントローラーで遊ぶことができます。
No GameCube though.
大きい Wii リモコン、どんな遊びになるでしょ
GameCube is more
う。
unique.
い
It
かが
makes
でした
sense.
でしょうか。
I'm
今日ご紹
hyped.
介したものは任天堂ミュー
Just
ジ
a
アムの
glimpse.
ほんの一部です。製品の展示やインタラクティブな遊びの体験の他にも、ルールを知らなくても花札で遊べる体験があ
That's
った
I
り、
love that mat.
花札を実際に作ってみることができるワークショ
Oh, I
ップも
want
開
to do
催しま
that
す。
too.
また館内には
And you
オ
could
リジ
eat
ナルのハン
food.
バーガーが作れるカフェやミュージアムだけの限定グッズを販売するショップも併設しています。任天堂は創業から100年を超える歴史の中でさまざまな娯楽を作ってきました。時代によって作り出した製品は異なりますが、家族みんなで楽しんでいただきたいという思いは今も昔も変わりません。
Indeed.
この任天堂ミュージアムはそんな任天堂が大切にしてきた遊びと独創を大切にするものづくりへのこだわりを知っていただける場所です。皆さんにはそれを体験しながら実感してもらいたいと思って開発も一緒に社員が全力で作り上げてきました。任天堂ミュージアムは10月2日にオープンします。
Time to buy my tickets
この
now.
後公式サイトを公開しますので、来場に関する詳細はそちらでご覧ください。
I'm not going in October. I can't afford to go to Japan right now.
それでは任天堂ミュージアムでお待ちしています。キノピオたちも一緒にお待ちしてますよ。
That's awesome. That was great. That was just freaking awesome. I loved that. I 100% loved that. I thought that was really good. But I want to know how you guys feel about it. So I'm putting a poll. So, how do we feel about the museum? Try to go someday. Alright, I got 4 options. Amazing, I can't wait to go. I will try to go someday. Kinda neat, trash. Let's see what wins the poll. Let's see. Where are we at? We got 6 votes. 18 votes. I don't know how we went back down to 6 votes. We're now at 25 votes. Okay. 0% have said trash. Oh, someone put trash. Someone put trash. How dare you? I'm just kidding. You're entitled to your opinion. But also, how dare you? Okay. For me, it's amazing. I can't wait to go. I don't know. For me, it's like it's kind of everything I wanted them to do for the museum, pretty much. Now they said they would just give us a glimpse, right? Like, I do wonder if we'll get the interview thing. I wonder how in depth some of this knowledge will go. So that's a question mark. But the first level and the interactive games that also simultaneously teach you about the history of Nintendo, those rooms, dude, you get to actually go inside of one. Personally, privately, and you get to bat at the wall and hit different things. Like, that's brilliant. The controllers are brilliant. Like, each of the 3 games they showed, to me, are brilliant. And it makes me very curious about the other 5. Like, there is, like, some serious, typical Nintendo magic ingenuity being used for this museum. I love it. It seems like they're kind of really going into it. They mentioned the cafeteria. Obviously, there's nothing spectacular they showed there, but if I'm there, I'm gonna eat there. I'm gonna want to see it. I'm gonna want to do everything there. Like, I'm excited for it, right? Like, all of it to me is just really cool. So I'm thrilled. I will say is one little thing that is definitely like me going, off the walls. I feel like this is probably too loud. I don't know. But there was this moment in the Direct where they showed like the different consoles, right? And they went all the way up to Switch and the camera stopped. All right. Obviously, Switch is the most recent console, so there's no need to go any further. That's where they would cut. But there's this part of me, it's like, what if the camera had moved a little bit more and they didn't cut it off? Obviously, they're not going to make that mistake and put it in a Direct, but hypothetically speaking, like, what if they did? Did they already put something for Switch 2 in the museum? The museum does not open until October 2nd. So if the theory about Switch 2 getting revealed in September holds true, there could be something in the museum already referencing Switch 2. Now, you know, that's kind of me, like, you know, crazy mode, right? Or is it? I don't know. Anyways, I thought the museum was awesome. I'm very happy with what they showed off. I think it was pretty cool. But checking with the chat here, let's see. Going back to what I was talking about with Aliz before the Direct started. Yeah, I think that, you know, typically when we see Nintendo put out a new game for a series they're bringing back, we see the remasters first. But we just saw a new game this time. So I don't know what is like the timeline. You know, there isn't really much of a timeline we got for this. So I don't want to say never, but I just don't expect them anytime soon. Arnell, I did see Mario Sunshine. Yeah, that was really cool. Connor, you think that the museum was great, right? I feel that way. I don't know, I'm just, maybe it's just because I'm just that hardcore of a Nintendo fan, but everything just seems so amazing to me. Yeah, the giant Wii remotes, being able to move that and you use a team of people to move it, like, that just seems like fun stuff. So cool. Having hope, yeah, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to go. I'm so stoked for this. Yep, there's going to be a gift shop, merchandise to sell there. Steve West, am I going to do a game explain type analysis of this trailer? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I can do. Like, I think in theory we could overanalyze it for like 3 hours potentially. I don't know. I'm not gonna make any promises, but I'll sleep on it. I will sleep on it. Tardigrade, damn, it's a great idea. And people would flock to the museum only to see the earlier revealed Switch 2. The only way to see it in person until 2025. Yeah, so, like, if somehow they did have a reference to Switch 2, it wouldn't be, like, a playable demo or anything like that. I doubt that. But, you know, I don't know. Like, what if, like, right next to that Switch that's playing Super Mario Odyssey and it's showing the evolution of graphics, they have the next 3D Mario on Switch 2 right next to it. It's like, hey, this is Mario in 4K, open world. Like, that would be crazy. I mean, at some point, they're going to have to put Switch 2 in the museum because the museum is meant to document the entire history, right? So at some point, it'll be there. And it might already be there because they only showed us small sections. And it is interesting that the museum is coming out October 2nd. Like, it's an interesting timing there. Polio guy, Rhythm Heaven Fever will be in the museum. That's hype. That's hype. Yeah, Wilberforce. Most probably, there's nothing there currently, but they will leave some space to eventually add Switch 2. I mean, they're going to have to make adjustments over time regardless, right? As history progresses, they're going to have to find ways to make space. Hope I am curious how they'll change things. But the thing about museums is that museums evolve and change over time regardless, right? So this is nothing new, just cool to think about. All right, so not going to stay on for too long, right? Short stream today, right? I am going to, I guess, end the poll. I'll end the poll. Right, I ended the poll. 83. The poll is only up for a couple of minutes. Like, we kept it short, but in the short time we had the poll up, we got 83 votes. And I asked you, so how do you feel about the museum? 10% of you said trash. Who are you? That means 8 people, maybe 9 people said it's trash. 18% said kind of neat. 33% are with me. Amazing, I can't wait to go, all caps. And then 37% respectively said, I will try to go someday. That's where we're at. It feels like, in general, most people are actually rather pleased with it, right? Even the 18% saying kind of neat. 10% saying trash, that's actually pretty good. There's always some people who don't like these things. That's just the way it is. But anyways, yeah, I thought it was a fun, cool thing. I can't wait. We'll probably talk a little bit more about this museum tomorrow, at least during the live stream with Brandon. Maybe I'll sleep on it. I don't know what else will come of this, but I'm excited that it's happening. So it's cool stuff. Anyways, I didn't mean to exit that so abruptly, but it is what it is. Thank you, everyone. I got to go to the gym, but I'll see you really soon. Take care. Have a good one.